I'm not really sure why this happened, because I've purchased 2 terabytes of space. So I'm going to have to look into what's going on. But me hopping off the interstate and getting back on, or stopping on the side a little shy of 5 minutes and 33 seconds does work. It is having someone in close proximity being able to do these things. So anyway, what I was saying on that last video before my storage filled up, I had to just go in and delete some apps, is that the jealousy started from Grover and Big E, really, I guess a long time ago, honestly. When I was born and my grandfather, their father, fell in love with me the way he did, I mentioned that he had gotten my nanny a lot of diamonds through gambling and so on and so forth. He also kept me clothed in fur coats. I mean, I was a little mafia princess is what I was. I mean, I had the crinolines in my dresses, I had on the tights, black patent leather shoes or white patent leather shoes, depending on the season. Baby rings, gold baby rings with diamonds, bracelets, bangle bracelets that were gold. I mean, they kept me decked the fuck out from being a little baby. I was a little mafia princess. And my grandfather even called me Papa's little princess. And Grover and Big E fucking hate that shit. Well, when my papa was dying, he said to my nanny that she had to leave everything that he had gotten for her, talking about her jewelry, that he wanted it all to go to me. I was only 5 years old now, so I didn't have a dog in this fight. And she said, well, John, what if we have other grandkids? And I mentioned that he was a bit of a character. And he said, I don't give a shit about them. I don't know them. Anything I bought, I want to go to her. So I guess that probably started some of it. Grover wasn't even married yet. He was a little whore. And so, anyway, he wasn't even married yet. So anyhow, his wife later said to me that my being born was it did a huge disservice to Grover, because, you know, he was the baby and I just kind of knocked him out of the cradle when we're 15 years apart. He's 15 years older than me. As if that were my fault and not Big E and Jezebel Hollywood's. But these people are sick, fucking illogical, evil, fucking jealous, covetous, greedy cucks. Thieves. I mean, so of course it was my fault. I was just a baby. Of course it was my fault. So then, you know, fast forward 10 years down the road, when I'm going and moving in with my nanny, and she's keeping me fully dressed in just top of the line clothes. She's making sure that I don't want for anything material. And I never did want for anything material. I was a little mafia princess. That had nobody, because my papa died, then my great papa died. My nanny worked 2 jobs to be able to afford to clothe me and stuff the way that she did. And she also helped Grover and Big E. I mean, she put a huge deck on Grover's house. I mean, he and Big E and their people, their friends, did the work. She footed the bill. She did the same thing with the place where me and Big E lived. She put a deck on. She helped fund everything that they ever fucking did. But that wasn't enough for them, because she she favored me, and they couldn't handle that shit. And I just didn't see it for a long time. So the jealousy started really, really early, and I was just completely unaware of it, because I personally am not a jealous type of a person. It's just not how I'm made. I don't get it. But I've witnessed it enough that I see that it is just the way it is. So I had, the sick family, and I moved to North Carolina, and I have no idea that I'm hated like this. I mean, although there was tons of proof of it, I didn't. Jezebel Hollywood used to say that, and this is something true that she said, is she would say that people judge people based on themselves, based on how they operate. And I think that's probably the most accurate, intelligent thing she's ever said to me, because I didn't operate like that, I couldn't fathom anybody else operating from that dark of a place. I just could not fathom that to save my life. But nonetheless, it's how it was. So that being said, she told me that that people, so I was naive. I never could understand that these people truly operated from such a dark and evil place to a child. I came to understand that was true, but it took what it took for me. So, what ended up happening was that I have been targeted by my family for a long time, where Big E was trying to sabotage my relationship with my grandmother. He was trying to make me look like I was just this terrible kid, and just wanted to completely forget that he was a drunk, a drug dealer, that he had left me alone my whole life. And I mentioned the summers, me being in North Carolina. One of the things about that is that I stayed in North Carolina at his cousin's house and her husband, which I referred to as my aunt and uncle back then. But something interesting just goes along with what they were doing with, like, leaving me home alone with all these guns that were unlocked, and easy for me to reach, leaving me home with a 3-wheeler, a go-kart, a motorcycle, guns. They left me home alone all summer while they worked, and so I would go up there for the summer and stay, and my nanny worked too, but she worked 2 jobs, so she was gone more like 12, 13, 14 hours a day, and they only worked the 1 job. And so I stayed with them, and they had a full in-ground pool, and they bought me a huge trampoline. So after the age of 7, I stayed home alone with a trampoline and a full-size swimming pool, and that's what I got to do all day, every day. So again, just more stuff, more dangerous stuff. I mean, a swimming pool and a trampoline as a babysitter. Interesting. It was better than having to stay with my Uncle Claude, though. who touched me. So there was that. There was something else I was wanting to say about the situations. It'll come back to me. So when I went to North Carolina, I started school at North Buncombe High School, and I was 15. No, I was 16. 16. Well, I was 15 when I went up there to live, and then I turned 16 shortly thereafter and started school because my birthday's in July. So my junior year was 16, and then I went up there, and I grew, like I had been a very slowly developed little girl. Like I didn't start my period till I was 14.